Hello, everyone. It is 11 o'clock and we're about to get started. I'll wait about another minute or so before I do so. Now, before I get started, I did definitely want to say real quick that if what you see here is now the new camera being used. I've been dying to figure out how to use my Canon Mark IV biggie thing that I have to use it for Facebook Live. I know I could use it, I just didn't know how. And until recently, I finally have been able to. I'm also, because of that, there it is. Because of that, I'm a little, you'll see me look down because I'm actually looking at my monitor to figure out where I need to continue with the conversation and make sure that we're on schedule, and look at my script, my outline to make sure that I'm progressing well. So pardon me. I love the quality. Hopefully you do too. I feel like I should be zoomed in a little more, so pardon me. I feel like it's a little better. All right. Hi. Welcome to the Teevee Marketing Show, where we focus on sharing current trends, topics, news that is going on in the digital marketing and advertising space, as well as sharing marketing tips and advice that you, Mr. Business Owner, can use in your business today. My name is Teevee the Marketer, and I'm glad you're here. Today's topic will be funnels, and funnels being everywhere. If you're not aware what that means in terms of marketing speak, I'll explain that shortly. But just know that they're everywhere, including dating, relationships, all types of relationships, all types of different businesses. Because at the end of the day, it all relates. Dating is the same as marketing, because ultimately it's all about relationships. Everything we do is person to person, so of course marketing is everywhere, and dating is everywhere, funnels are everywhere. And I'll also talk about why they're important, why it's important to kind of keep them in mind, and how it can benefit your business to always have it top of mind. But before we get into it, let's talk about the current news. Number one, Byte app, B-Y-T-E. If you haven't already, I did post about this a couple of days ago. If you haven't already, download the app. They have it for the Apple and Android. It is, excuse me, is a micro video sharing blog app. Excuse me. Let me get some water. And I shared it recently because if you watched previous videos, I spoke about how important it is to own your brand, own your name, own your brand. If someone searches for your service, your name even, they should find stuff that you control or own, whether it be your websites, whether it be your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram. And I suggest that you go out, I suggested weeks ago, that you go out and find any of these social media platforms that are out there and secure your name or brand. Because for whatever reason, the SEO value of those apps and securing that is really, really high. So once you secure your brand name, for example, you should that app should rank. Facebook, Twitter will probably rank for your name, whether it's your name or your brand or both. So Byte, B-Y-T-E, came out recently. It is a successor to and founded by one of the original creators of, I just forgot the name of that app. It was a micro short video app that basically TikTok kind of picked up on some of their ideas. But they're 6-second videos that you share. And you have to tell stories in those 6 seconds. You may or may not be interested in doing that. I'm going to test it out because it'll push my my creativity with some of my other brands. And I just want to test it out. However, that doesn't mean you shouldn't claim it. Go out there, claim it, grab your username before someone else does. I did for my personal name, Teevee, and for my dance, and I haven't claimed it. Yes, I have. I've claimed it for my business as well. So just claim them for your own benefit to help protect your brand. And so that way, if somebody ever, this is the worst case scenario, if somebody ever says something negative about you or publishes something terrible, you will own the top results for your brand or your name. You don't want it to be this random blog post or video from someone saying something trashy about you, something not good about you. you want it to be your content. That's the best way to protect your brand. Because if it's on page 2, chances are, or low page 1, chances are they may not see it, and your brand maintains some of its integrity. So don't go do that. Number 2, Google Chrome plans to completely destroy. Oh, goodness, I was going to start showing graphics. Google plans to eliminate third-party cookies within two years. Now, what does that mean? Third-party cookies relates to, from what I understand it, and this is, I really actually like this idea. So let's say you go to some local news site that's sharing an article. Because they are struggling for revenue, or some of these random sites that just share content and videos, content related to current topics that may or may not even give you the material, the content that you want to read about, but what they want is that page view. Because once you hit the website, ads will be served. And on top of that, dozens and dozens and dozens of cookies will be fired off, because that's how they're making money, where they will add you to an audience. So if you go visit a website and the article is about, I don't know what's going on right now, the current China flu virus, and maybe it may be a legitimate web outlet, a news outlet, which is what I hate, because even the legitimate sites will have dozens and dozens of cookies firing off, because they're adding you to audiences to then sell to third parties. So they're third-party cookies. I hate that, because it slows your computer down. It's hard to read the content, and then you're getting added to audiences that you absolutely have no control over. So Google Chrome has said that within 2 years they're completely removing that functionality, that feature to be able to do that. They'll block them basically. The ad world is obviously scurrying, trying to figure out what to do, because that's a big deal. That's the way a lot of these platforms are making their money, and they're trying to find alternatives, because Google Chrome accounts for like 65% of the browser usage. So it's the #1 browser being used by everyone, because it works well. So they've taken it upon themselves to want to remove that functionality, which is kind of weird if you think about it, because Google itself depends on ad revenue. So I'm curious to see that play out over the next 2 years as to how that's going to work out. My take is that they're just trying to target the usage of third-party, like they said, third-party cookies, third-party from other individual companies. They're just trying to collect that data, versus, say, the Facebook pixel that you own for your own usage, or the Google pixel, because you're pushing traffic to your site via your own means and not somebody else, and not doing it for somebody else's benefit. So that's something to keep in mind. In the next few years, that should happen, and it's becoming a big deal in the ad world, and something you should be aware of. Next up, Facebook redesign is coming up. And here's a screenshot from someone that was able to preview it. And they will also have a dark mode. Where's my dark mode? Boom. Let me get the white. Where's the white? Let me get better at this. Boom. And there's the dark mode. So this has been beta tested, and it should be released probably in the next month or two. Expect massive mayhem and people losing their minds, because Facebook is changing. The last time there was a drastic change in the design and the layout, people lost their minds, and they hated it. They were going to leave and whatnot. What is Facebook up to now? 2.5 billion users. It'll be fine. It looks, from my take and the looks of it, they've already implemented some of these graphic changes. They're simplifying the layout. They're making it a little easier to navigate, bigger icons, which should benefit everyone. It'll be easier to navigate and not have so many little bitty things. They're doing this. They've already done this on the app. So I hope that the mayhem will be a lot less than it was in previous years, simply because they're already basically training people on this new flow, this new UI. But still, expect that to come in the next few months. I hope that with it comes other ad avenues and ways to kind of do some placements that benefit everyone. I'm curious to see also what the play is. Will there be less ads, more ads? But ultimately, they're simplifying it, making it a much more elegant platform, a much more elegant user experience. Just wanted you to know. All right, next, let's go ahead and get into our topic of the day, which is Everything is a funnel. Dun 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 dun. Let's think about that. Let's dig in. Do 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 do. So let's start by explaining what a funnel is, at least in the marketing world, and just kind of how it applies to everything with my title, Everything is a Funnel. So, for example, dating. Oh, no, let me back up. So before we get into those different ways to apply it, who's on here? Anybody? Three people. Hey, three people. Okay, how do I get back out? So a funnel, as you can imagine, is like it's wide at the top, and as you go down to the bottom, it's really small. And basically, what is trying to help illustrate through the funnel is the path of an individual as they go through from maybe knowing that they have a problem. They may or may not even know that they have a problem at the top of the funnel, where it's really wide, to the bottom where they know they have a problem. They know that there's a solution out there for them, and they may even know that you are the solution, that you have something for them to use, to buy a service, or for them to come into your office. I am really sorry. Today I'm really congested, and it's annoying me. So the path to that. So in the marketing world, we have, which seems pretty easy to understand. You have the top of the funnel, the middle of the funnel, that's what these acronyms mean, and the bottom of the funnel. And when we talk about the top of the funnel, like I said, it's individuals that may or may not even know that they have a problem. Maybe they have a backache, and that's evident, or it may be something a little more subversive, something that they may be out of their awareness. Did you know that 9 out of 10 people that do this, da da da? That's top of the funnel. They may not know they have a problem. Middle of the funnel refers to people that are aware they have a problem, aware that there's solutions, and they're deciding, they're investigating, they're trying to decide which way to go, who to go with. And the bottom of the funnel is when they're market aware and they're the most aware and they're ready to make a decision. It may be you. They may even know that you exist. So it's just a matter of then trying to help them, trigger them to actually decide on you, and then obviously deciding what that mechanism is to decide to come into you, to book a consultation, to come to your class. That's at the bottom of the funnel. Now, let's kill this for a second. So that's what we do. The funnel describes that process of the individual going from not aware to completely aware, and then having to make a decision. And in that process is even knowing I'm sorry, I already repeated it. That's in here. So let's look at examples in the real world of funnels. Friendships. Your friendships are funnels. Were funnels. You meet hundreds of people a year, let's say, through maybe schooling, if you go to school, college, or whatnot. Maybe some networking. Maybe you go dating. Maybe you're in social circles. You go to church. You take classes. You meet hundreds of people, ideally throughout the month. Out of that, maybe you hang out with a few of them. You hang out with a dozen of them in some capacity. It's a tighter, you're going down the middle of the funnel. You start sharing interests. You go outside of, you hang out outside of the way you met maybe. You go on lunch, you go to dinners, you go to other events together. You really get to know each other. And then from those, it might be a dozen. Maybe it's your clique, it's your crew, right? You run together. And then from those, maybe you have one or two that are your absolute best buds. They're your homies. They're your road dogs. They're your ride or dies. That's a funnel. You went from meeting all these people to then hanging out with a few of them a little more tightly or maybe separately, but over the course of your life or your day-to-day. And then you have one or two, if you're lucky, that have been with you forever. They're at the bottom of the funnel. They're your friends. They're your buddies. You can count on them. That's a funnel. Musicians and music. Musicians maybe produce thousands and write thousands of pieces of music over the course of their lives. But they only publish a few hundred because they're particular. They want to make sure that they only release the best of the best, but even then they don't know what's going to hit. So they released a few hundred, maybe 4 or 5 albums, and there might be 100 songs. And out of those, 5 to 10 become hits. Maybe they become #1 hits. So if you see what I mean, it's a funnel. You start at the top by producing they produce a lot of content. Then a few of them become published, and then a few of them become hits. And then maybe one you'll hear in your elevator when you're going to your bank. and it's something that becomes timeless. It becomes a soundtrack to a song, a movie. That's a funnel as well, and then they're able to continue to make a profit from that to the end of time because it becomes iconic. Even that's a funnel. Dating, much like with your friendships, maybe you meet hundreds of people a day, maybe or over the course of a year, let's just say, and maybe you're swiping left or right every single day. That's your audience. They're at the top of the funnel. You end up going on a handful of dates over the year, and if you're lucky, you're able to call one your boo. It becomes your buddy. It becomes your wife. Like, actually, you date one and becomes your boyfriend, girlfriend. And if you're lucky, that one ends up being your wife or husband, if that's your end goal. All right? So everything is a funnel. You have to, if you want to get a better wife or a better girlfriend that then becomes a better wife, then you need to look at the different steps in that funnel and try to figure out how can you improve the quality of the individual coming out of it at the bottom, right? Maybe one smokes. Well, are you hanging around groups that smoke? And this is a really silly example, but the point is, going back to marketing, going back to your business, identifying in these steps what's wrong with your business or where can you improve. So every business is in it to try to sell something, right? We're trying to provide a service, trying to stay afloat, trying to provide a service to an individual, help them alleviate something in their life. Maybe it's a back pain, maybe it's a tooth pain, maybe it's loneliness because they want to learn how to dance, maybe it's relationship, maybe it's weight loss. We're all trying to solve a problem for that individual. So applying it to your business, if you don't have enough clients at the bottom of the funnel and they're paying you and using your services or showing up to your classes, then you need to start taking steps back and looking at the different steps in your funnel that you may or may not even know you have and find out what you need to improve. In many cases, you need to look at the top of the funnel. Every single day you should be doing, what you should be working towards is getting more people to become aware of what you do and that they have a problem. They need to become aware of what you do or that they even have a problem as a whole. So I'm going to use my dance project, my passion project, which is called Kids Passion. And about a year ago, I decided that I wanted to do a better job. I wanted to grow the community. And what I saw as it relates to the funnel is that we had two problems. We're at the top of the funnel and at the bottom of the funnel. Number one is not enough people were becoming aware of the dance not aware of the dance, or if they were aware of it, they just didn't know where to go, or if they could come if it was a thing for them. They just were at the top of the funnel. So not enough people were at the top of the funnel coming in to the system so then they could go to classes. I thought, in my opinion, in the middle of the funnel, there was enough content, there was enough people teaching for people that did become aware of it, but there was not enough new people coming in because, for a big community like we're trying to grow, you needed a lot of people. So problem number one, not enough people at the top of the funnel. Problem number two was the bottom of the funnel, and I didn't see enough people. There was not a place to dance. So they've taken classes and then middle of the funnel. Then the bottom of the funnel, they go to dance events. They're out there socializing all the time. They're paying for drinks. They're paying for workshops. That's the bottom of the funnel. Well, we didn't have enough places to dance. So I decided, as a way to try to engage in this problem and solve this problem, was I was going to create an event that helped people find a place to dance. So give people in the middle of the funnel that have been taking classes, they end up at the bottom of the funnel. I'm saying funnel a lot today. It's starting to become annoying. But they come to classes, come to my events, and they're dancing. We have a free event at this thing, so that way I can try to appeal to people at the top of the funnel that may already know that the dance exists and just show up to a free class. And in the process, we create content, videos, photos, stories. We tell a lot of stories that we put at the top of the funnel to show to people that have been curious about it, have semi-interest in it, or may just be interested in dancing, but they don't even know that this particular dance is out there, Kizomba. So my strategy was to create a solution for the bottom to help address that, which then helped address the top of the funnel. And in doing so, we've been able, and then obviously, well, not obviously, I'm advertising aggressively, telling great stories, sharing great pictures, photos, smiling faces at the top of the funnel to those individuals, advertising to them, so that way they can become more comfortable to show up to class. It's a long-winded way to say you need to look at your business and find out where people are getting stuck. Do you know your numbers? Let's say that you do. You're advertising and your people are coming and showing up to your, they're seeing your ads, and perhaps you have a lead generation campaign of some sorts where you're offering people, let's just say you're an attorney, and you're offering a free consultation. Are you getting enough consultations every month? That's number one. So if you feel like you are for the money that you're spending, how many people actually show up? Looking at that number. So if 10 people schedule an appointment, 5 people show up. Of those 5 people, how many can you close into a client? So that's like literally knowing your funnel, understanding your numbers, and then working your way back up. So if you only close 1 out of those 10 that's scheduled, which is 10%, it's not terrible depending on what business, what type of law you're in, the client value. Maybe that's enough, but if that's consistent, then you need to go back up the funnel and decide maybe spending more money to get in front of even more people. Instead of ending with 10 appointments, maybe you need to get in front of, and that was, let's say 10,000 people saw your ad. Maybe you need to spend more money for 20,000 people to see your ad. So therefore, you have 20, if the math holds true and your content is still engaging, your offer is still good and they trust you, maybe 20 people book a consultation, and 20, and then 10 show up, and now you close 2, if just those numbers hold true. So I want you to start looking at that within your business. Where are they getting stuck in the funnel? What's clogging the funnel up? And looking at ways to improve that. Maybe you are spending a ton of money at the top of the funnel to help people become aware that you have something for them to consider. Maybe you're spending, say, $1,000 and 20,000 people saw your ad this month, but you got nothing, right? Nobody called your business. The engagement was low. So you need to start looking at what was wrong in that promotional piece, in that content. Did you tell a story? Was there something of benefit to the individual to have them stop? Did you capture their attention? Going back to previous episodes from a while back. You need to start looking at that. All right, great. You spent $1,000. You got in front of, I forgot what the number I said a second ago. Let's just say 10,000 people. And there was a lot of engagement, but not enough people actually called. So once again, look at that, because they're getting stuck in the funnel. There's something clogging the funnel that they're not moving down. Maybe they are engaging, and maybe just in an engagement, specifically on Facebook, they will find themselves in the middle of the funnel because now they know about you. Now if they engage, one would assume that you have a good piece of content, so therefore you're entertaining them, educating them, making them feel comfortable with you. So maybe the truth is that's good, but maybe you didn't have a call to action. You didn't have an offer for them to take you up on. Maybe I know some attorneys don't want free consultations because they don't want to have to waste their time. So in that case, you're definitely going to it's going to take a lot longer to produce a result from that, because the market, and depending on the industry, depending on the law, the type of law you practice, the market is expecting a free consultation. Google your company, Google your service. So if it's immigration attorney Houston, immigration attorney Dallas, Google and find out what people are offering their the consumer, the client, the potential client. What are they offering? If you see that most people are offering free consultations, that's probably because they've been trained. They've trained the consumer into believing they have to get a free consultation before they decide on you. It's not always necessary, but just know that if you don't have something to give at the front end, something to benefit, maybe you can still get them to call you even though you don't have a free consultation, but that video, that piece of content, that has to be rich. It has to persuade them that you do indeed know your stuff, all right? Because depending on your market, they're going to want something. They're going to want to be entertained. They're going to want a free consultation. In that case, it's just going to take a little longer, or you're going to have to deliver more value on the front end to get them to trust that you are indeed someone that they can call. But regardless of that, if you have them in the middle of the funnel, they become aware of you, they know they have a problem, Then you need to keep engaging with them, more content, more videos, more photos, more testimonial videos, testimonials in general, just stories of you engaging with the market and showing them that you are indeed someone that can solve their problem. That's the middle of the funnel. And I read a story recently, a really troubling story, that said that now, in this new era that we're in, as far as it relates to digital entertainment and consumption, it used to be that on average it took 7 to 8 touches for someone to make a buying decision, whether it be an email, a phone call, a text, a postcard. Touches meaning, hey, I'm here. Do you need some help? Hey, I saw you visited my website. Hey, so it used to take 7 to 8 touches. Most people only do 1, maybe 2. So that was bad enough. But from what a story that I read recently, and I don't remember where, so I can't even quote it. It takes up to 20 now. And I would venture to believe that that's because we're just being bombarded by so much content every day that we may ignore it. We may forget that that was an issue, that you touched me that many times. We just bypass it all. So you need to keep them engaged. You need to continue to feed them content. Going back to my dance project, I've been going at it a year, and I've been producing content almost every single day. It's tedious, but fun. If you're really trying to take care of the consumer and their problem, it can be fun, and it's not as difficult if you're telling stories about the community. And that's something that I work on, is telling stories of the community. And the idea being to also engage with the issues and the objections that that end consumer may have. For my dance particularly, it could be just as simple as, like, is it safe? Is it safe to come out? Do I need a partner? Do I need dance shoes? Is it fun? Is it worth my time? Where is it? So it's sharing content to try to directly address those objections that they may already have in your mind. And that's what you do in the middle of the funnel, because they're researching, they're making decisions, or maybe, depending on what it is, it may take them a while to make that decision. And to get them to come out the bottom, you have to have something. You have to give them something, whether it's a free consultation, whether it's a free hamburger, kids eat free, free class, or an affordable class, or just simply a rich piece of content that they can enjoy and appreciate. All right? Let me see here. So that's it. Look at your business. Find out where your clients are getting stuck. It could be that not enough people know about you. If they don't know about you, then obviously your sales are going to suck. You're not going to get enough phone calls. You're not getting enough traffic to your website. You're not getting enough engagement on your posts because you're hoping that that someone magically finds it. That's not going to happen unless you're producing great content and then putting that content out in front of the individuals that you want to serve. Chances are your business will continue to suffer. All right, maybe you're producing great content. Maybe you're spending some money. Is it enough? Is $5 a day for most niches, most industries, is enough to at least get a gauge and interest and see if your piece of content resonates with your market and educates them. Are we educating them? Are you bringing them in and becoming aware that you indeed have a solution for their problem? Now, maybe you need to bump it because you need to work the numbers. If only 500 people see it a day, that might be great. That might be enough. But maybe bump it up to a point where 10,000 people see it. So you have enough 10,000 people seeing it at the top of the funnel that enough of them work their way through. They engage with it. They comment. They like. They share. And then they start to at least become aware of you and then consume the rest of your content, the rest of your material. In most cases, what we're all looking to try to get is the people at the bottom of the funnel. They know they have a problem. They know there's people out there to solve it. And then you show up with, in the lead generation strategy, kind of like, hey, you kind of go in there for, and going back to the marketing is dating, you're going for the one-night stand because they're ready. They're hot. They're primed. They're looking good. They have their credit card out. They're just waiting for an individual, a business to say, hey, I can solve your problem. Here's the proof that I've done this for others. And here's an offer. Come in today for a free consultation. And then you can go for that one-night stand, right? That the idea being that they're at the bottom of the funnel and they're ready to go. They're hot to trot. They're there. People are there. But if you want to succeed long-term, you need to start nurturing, getting enough people at the top of the funnel and nurturing them in the middle. So that way, by the time they get to a point where they're ready to make a decision, it's going to be you. because you have held their hand all the way through. All right. My name is Teevee from Rockstar Marketing. Thank you for tuning in. We do these shows every second and fourth Tuesday at 11 a.m. I'm being really clear about that because I keep confusing even myself. I appreciate you for being here. If you have any questions, let me know. Feel free to message me, and I can even answer them on the show. I appreciate you greatly. And remember, if you're not marketing consistently and effectively every single day, ongoing, are you really even in business? Take care. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.